Hello my fellow internet surfers. Today we only have one story that has quite a few updates. Title: My wife is addicted to the gym and it's ruining our marriage. My wife, who is 30, has always liked to keep fit, but it seems like she's taking it too far these days. She used to go to the gym a lot in college. Then she stopped for a while because she was busy, and started exercising at home or running outside instead. About a year and a half ago, she decided to start going to the gym again because her new job gave her more time. At first, she went a normal amount, but then she began going more and more. She signed up for classes every weekend and started going to the gym twice a day, every day. Whether she's upset, stressed, or we've just had a fight, she heads to the gym. Now, she's 4 months pregnant, but she hasn't slowed down her gym visits. If she misses a workout, she gets really moody, almost like she's missing something very important. It feels like she's too dependent on working out. I've told her I'm worried she's too obsessed with the gym, and I miss spending time together, but she keeps saying that the gym is her personal time. I'm in good shape too because my job requires it, so I'm not just feeling jealous. I think her gym habits are not healthy. It seems like she's using the gym to avoid dealing with problems. She's also not helping much at home anymore, so I end up doing most of the chores and cooking. People have even started to notice how much she's at the gym. They say she's there a lot, and some of her friends and family hardly see her. A few have even wondered if she might be seeing someone else at the gym. This doesn't seem normal to me, but she insists it is. Update: She spends a lot of time there, often visiting twice a day and sometimes even 3 times, especially after arguments when she prefers to run off rather than discuss our issues. She insists on keeping her gym private from me, refusing to join me at mine and not allowing me to go to hers. She treats her gym as her personal space. Despite multiple invitations, she never joins me at my gym. Currently, she's about 18 weeks pregnant with our first child. She's always been very active, and pregnancy hasn't slowed her down at all. In a previous post, some people suggested she might be cheating, but I was confident that wasn't the case. She's in great shape, and it's clear she spends a lot of time at the gym. However, after reading several comments, I started to doubt my assurance about her loyalty. One day, she left her phone in the kitchen, and on impulse, I looked through her texts. I found messages with a guy from her gym, someone she talks about often. The texts were more intimate than I expected, discussing topics I wish I hadn't seen. Confronted with this, I lost my temper. She denied everything but was furious that I had invaded her privacy. Our argument escalated quickly, and in anger, I broke her phone. She was very upset, calling me names and physically lashing out. I needed to cool off, so I went to my brother's place. When I returned, she was upset and tearful, unable to contact anyone because her phone was broken. Despite feeling guilty about the phone, I had it repaired, still shaken by the whole ordeal. She still hasn't fully explained the extent of her interactions with this man, and now she accuses me of being abusive for breaking her phone. I regret how I reacted, but I never intended to physically hurt her. The situation remains unresolved, and the tension between us is high. Second update. Recently, my wife asked me to skip work so we could have a serious talk. The day before, she had spent all day in bed, apparently trying to garner my sympathy, but I ignored her and went to my family's Super Bowl party instead. She was upset that I left and texted me throughout the evening, questioning how I could be so indifferent during such a tough time. Today, I stayed home to talk with her. She was very emotional and apologetic. She explained that she genuinely enjoys going to the gym because it's where her friends are and it makes her feel good. There, she met a guy who began flirting with her. She admitted to flirting back, saying it gave her a nostalgic thrill similar to having a school crush. Their texting started innocently and was not sexual for months, but she was admittedly excited by his attention. Despite making it clear she was married and nothing serious could happen, the flirting continued and eventually, they crossed a line. She confessed to kissing him and then, on the same day, they slept together. She described the experience as akin to falling in love for the first time and admitted she was unsure if she loved him. Regarding the baby she's carrying, she believes it's mine but acknowledged a slight chance it could be his, although they always used protection. She expressed love for me but admitted to feeling a strong connection with him. She's confused about her feelings, unsure about the baby's paternity, and at a loss about what to do next. The most striking moment came when she asked if I would leave her if the baby wasn't mine. When I firmly said I would not raise another man's child, she seemed genuinely surprised, questioning if I'd even consider it given our history. I reiterated my stance, leading her to agree to a DNA test, though her tears seemed more self-pitying than remorseful. I feel like I don't recognize her anymore. Her tears seemed aimed more at eliciting my sympathy than expressing genuine regret. Third update. The woman I once knew and thought of as classy has made a dramatic change in her lifestyle. She told me today that she plans to move in with the man from the gym she's been seeing. She's pregnant, and there's a chance the baby could be his, or mine. She's avoided taking a paternity test due to embarrassment. Over the past week, she's tried various ways to draw my attention and coax me into wanting her back. I haven't given in to these attempts. We've still been living under the same roof but in separate rooms, and I keep any necessary interaction with her short and to the point. Her efforts to make me notice her, including proudly announcing that she hasn't gone to the gym for 5 consecutive days, have failed. Today, she texted me about her decision to move in with him. Despite everything, I still feel a sense of care for her, which is why I've already consulted with a lawyer. It's possible to care for her as a person and the potential mother of my child without remaining her husband. Yet, it was still painful to hear her plans. I advised her against moving and suggested she consult a lawyer too, but she seems indifferent to my advice. I questioned whether her new partner was aware of her pregnancy and the full extent of the situation. She confirmed he knows and doesn't mind the possibility that the baby might be mine. He loves her and wants to be with her regardless. This strikes me as odd. It baffles me that he would choose this complicated situation when, presumably, as an attractive, employed homeowner, he could have less burdensome options. And if the child is mine, what then? Will my child live part-time with my wife and this man? It's a troubling thought. Fourth update. My wife moved in with her affair partner last weekend and left most of her belongings at our house. Despite her departure, part of me felt she was still expecting me to plead for her return, but I didn't contact her. The mix of relief, anger, and sadness was overwhelming. I found myself not eating and drinking a bit too much, but now I'm managing. I'm sharing this update because responding to numerous messages from people has been emotionally taxing. I prefer not to dwell on discussing her much anymore. This morning, she texted me that her affair partner has requested a DNA test, so now she's finally agreed to do it. Interestingly, she only considered it important when he suggested it. She asked if I would also submit a sample to save on costs as testing 2 potential fathers together is cheaper. At this point, the cost doesn't concern me, I just want the truth. I won't need to interact with them, I simply have to visit the lab for a cheek swab. I'm scheduled to do that this Saturday, and we should have the results within a week. This situation is preferable to dragging out the uncertainty. I'm continuing to go to work and trying to keep functioning, though I feel stuck in limbo. I miss her terribly and despise the fact that she's with him. There's a part of me that wants to ask her to come back, especially if the baby turns out to be mine. But I refuse to beg or play games with her. Fifth update. Eventually, at her affair partner's request, we got a paternity test, and it confirmed that the baby is mine. This news has been really tough for me, mixing relief with a lot of other feelings. Initially, I wanted to cut all ties, but a part of me felt some happiness knowing I was going to be a father. She's still living with him but hasn't taken most of her stuff from our house. After learning that I'm the father, she texted me saying she was glad and started suggesting baby names. She's tried calling, but I only reply to her texts. Recently, she came to pick up some things, and despite my warning, she brought him along. He tried to talk to me, saying he understands how I feel and that he really loves her. He knew he probably wasn't the father but doesn't mind and doesn't want to take my place as the dad. I found it odd and told him to leave, which ended in a fight when he didn't. Later, she texted me trying to smooth things over, saying he's a good guy and respects me, which I found hard to believe considering the situation. She insisted they fell in love by accident and she didn't mean to hurt me. Now, they're setting up a nursery at his place, and I'm doing the same at mine. It's tough not to feel jealous and sad. I've tried to see him as irrelevant, but I still love her, and it hurts. Even though I don't want to stay married just for the sake of it, this whole thing is really tough on me. Final update. There hasn't been much drama lately with my wife and her affair partner. I took a long weekend trip recently to take a break from everything, which was a nice change. The main issue came up when I made it clear that I wanted to be in the delivery room for the birth of our child, not her affair partner. She agreed at first, saying she hadn't planned to have him there. However, when she told him, he tried to convince her otherwise. Now, she's saying she wants him there because she's the one giving birth and feels she should choose who's present. We've also talked about our upcoming divorce. She told me I could have our house and the dog. However, I want to sell the house and split the profits, as I've been the one making all the payments. I don't want any reminders of her in my life. Plus, there was no question about the dog staying with me, as I have proof of ownership and that was non-negotiable with my lawyer. Even though I might not be in this house much longer, I'm setting up a nursery here to show I'm prepared for fatherhood. It's actually kind of nice deciding on the decor without having to consider her preferences. Living alone is a bit lonely, but it's also somewhat freeing. I recently got a promotion at work, which would have been more financially beneficial post-divorce, but I'm glad for it regardless. I admit, sometimes I check their social media. Part of me hopes to see that her affair partner has had a mishap, especially now that he's starting a new company, which might give me a chance to playfully sabotage his business ratings with some help from friends and family. I don't often respond to messages or comments because I sometimes need a break from online platforms. They can get pretty depressing. Lastly, her sister contacted me to apologize for my wife's behavior, mentioning how my wife seems unhappy with her new partner. She complained that he's selfish and doesn't make efforts like I did, such as warming up her car or cooking for her after a long day. Hearing that she's not as content as she hoped makes me feel a bit better about the whole situation.